I remember reading the CTO of Kayak, which is an online travel organization, saying 25% of my time is spent trying to hire talent. I do it when I'm on the plane, in the airport, and everywhere and anywhere. And I think the reason most of us aren't very successful at hiring top talent, we're so busy running our organizations, and we spend so little time looking and focusing on hiring talent. We only do it when we have a job opening, and we go, well, let's do 4 interviews. Well, that's 4 hours. Whereas to do it properly, you need to spend, 10 hours a week, every week for 52 weeks to have the right talent pool.
We hire based on what's meaningful to the organization, maybe not necessarily what's meaningful to the person we're trying to hire. And I know there's a fine line there, but nonetheless, there's a lot of demand around how I want to live, how I want to work, and where I want to work. And traditional organizations haven't been structured that way. They're run by people like us who've been in the workforce too long, and we're mentored. And we were mentored or tormented, by a different generation, right? And so we're kind of thinking the same way to a certain degree, and then we also run into the roadblock. It's just not us hiring talent; it's the rest of the organization hiring talent, and they have the same problem. They just don't come and talk about it.
Yeah.
There's also an underpinning out of all this is that you can find that right individual, and you know that their talents would fit right, but if the individual doesn't necessarily meet the culture of the company, you might have a fail in your hands, even though you know intuitively that they would be successful, say in a different organization, which would be a more match for their, for their fit in terms of culture. So I think you have that other duality, and when you're looking for the right individual, like I think it was Alfred that was saying that you find someone that's got the right chops at the same time as meet the culture, that may not have all those technical skills or their business skills, but if you see that spark in their eyes and you can groom that into them, then they're the right hire.
The challenge is the millennials only want to stay for a year, right?
There's no loyalty anymore.
Well, there's no, and it's funny because the loyalty goes both ways, right? Organizations, we consume and then we throw away, right? I mean, it's just this is the way organizations are built. But then when you get the millennials, they read a lot, they look online, and everybody's making 6-figure salaries. Everybody, and you do any real reading, it says, if you haven't changed jobs every 3 to 5 years, you've actually hurt yourself from a paycheck perspective. Yeah. Right? So there's a lot of insight. I mean, even Glassdoor, everybody has access to these feedback loops that says this is where you should be, or these are the things that you have, you can reach to if you're an entrepreneur, if you will.
And I kind of look at it, depending on where you're getting hired in the organization, I kind of mentally say, if I can keep this person for 2 years, I've returned, I have got back
Your investment.
I'm positive NPV.
Yeah, look at it that way.
And then so at the director level, it's 3 to 5 years, right? If it's a new person coming into the organization, because lots of investment, right? You're probably paying a bonus to bring them in or her in, and an uptick on training. So that's 6 months, 7 months to learn the organization effectively, so that you don't have to be in every meeting that your director's in now. So so you kind of mentally do that math. So if you lose them before that time period, from a millennial perspective, that's kind of my initial question was.
That's a good way of looking at it.
That's for me, that's hard, because I don't want to take a risk of hiring someone for a year, train them, get them up to speed, and as soon as they're up to speed, bang out the door.